Hello, this is Community Unity Now, the D Tycoon Show. My co-host, Bill Morton, president of the Rogers Park Chamber of Commerce, still is recuperating from his injury. I am Trudy Leong, administrator of the Rogers Park Chamber of Commerce. Our very special guest today is Jaroslaw Golembiowski. He is a Polish composer. He is a composer, and he happens to be Polish.
That's right. I'm Polish-American composer.
Mm-hmm. And so, Jaroslaw, how many pieces approximately have you composed?
Oh, I composed probably around 250 compositions.
Oh, my goodness.
For solo instruments, but my favorite instrument is piano. And for orchestra, I have 5 symphonies, string quartets, and now I'm arranging the music and working with various groups and orchestras to promote Polish music, basically.
Well, how is Polish orchestral music different from other nationalities? Would you say?
Well, we Polish composers like to use the Polish folk songs, and like starting with even a Chopin or even before Chopin, we have very rich Polish regions in Poland, where each region has a very different characteristic. And for example, like a mountain people, they are singing in a time signature to 4, but then in Mazovia region, the songs are usually in 3 beats. And some music is, of course, very slow or very fast, and there is different rhythms, and that's how we can recognize that that composer is actually using the influences from the folk music.
Wow.
But of course, we are celebrating this year 100 years of Polish music, and the Polish music with the influences of the folk music, which was very, very popular in a certain period of development of the Polish composers. But most of the time we would like to also we are also experimenting, and for the experimental music, the Polish Composers Union created the festival of the contemporary music, which is every year in Warsaw, and right now it is the festival is running in Warsaw Philharmonic, Academy of Music, and different venues, and composers or contemporary composers from all over the world are joining, experimenting with the new music.
So the composers from around the world, are they also playing or composing the Polish music for that society, for that
Yes,
festival?
well, that is called like a commissioning. The Polish Union is commissioning the composers to write a special music to be presented during the festival in Warsaw,
I see.
and vice versa. Other composers from other countries are trying to commission music from the Polish composers, and sometimes it's very experimental music. Sometimes it's a very specific order to write a symphony or to celebrate special occasions. And that's the same way I'm writing my music here. I write the music for special occasions. I would say, big success was when we were celebrating 100th anniversary of the resurrection of Poland, which was a few years ago. And
Resurrection from what?
From being oppressed by Russia, Austria, and Prussia. So
And there was
Poland did not exist for 123 years. So that was a big celebration. And we started to become a country in 1920.
Okay.
So it was 100th anniversary, but the Poland was still fighting. The World War I ended in 19. But then Polish people were still fighting. So the World War One ended in 1918 actually.
Okay.
But the Poland was created a little bit later, and actually the biggest person who helped to recreate Poland was a Polish composer, Ignacy Jan Paderewski. And we had the history that Polish composers were always fighting to recreate Poland. Chopin
So was
music.
he fighting with music, or was he fighting
No,
with
he was fighting with
as a soldier?
No, he was helping. He had a big connection. He was a very famous composer, and he's still very famous. And he lived at that time in America also, and he did a lot of fundraising. And then after Versailles negotiations, he became actually the first prime minister of Poland.
Oh,
And so I would
what's his
say
name again?
Ignacy Jan Paderewski, and we have in a Polish museum of America. We have his last room from hotel in New York, and also.
In other words, he was living there for quite a while, and they took apart the whole room and moved the room over to the museum.
Right. Yes. Yes. And now it is in Chicago, and he performed many times in Chicago at Orchestra Hall, and he usually stayed on Pierce Street, which is in Wicker Park.
Oh.
And then
Did you ever meet him?
no, I wish. I never met him. I was not even born when he passed away.
Okay.
He passed away, I think, in 1941.
Oh, okay.
Right after, during the World War II, actually. But we
So
have
at that
few.
time, was he still prime minister at that?
No, he was a prime minister for a very short period of time. Then we had Piłsudski, who took over the Poland, and he ran Poland for many, many years. And then World War II started, and then Polish composers again were all over the different countries running away from occupation. And I would like to mention that again, the Polish Museum has a huge collection of the Polish music which was published in Chicago. And in Chicago we had a lot of publishers. The one here, it's Sajewski on Milwaukee Avenue. We had Małek, we have Przybylski, and Polish music was still thriving in United States and other countries because of these publications. We created, Polish people created a lot of choirs, and then we had the choirs were performing during the different festivals. And the music was, Polish music was arranged for these choirs to sing, to promote, to be patriotic, and to help Poland to thrive, because Poland was completely devastated, and especially after World War One and after World War Two. There was no food actually.
It seems as if Polish composers, music, and politics were closely intertwined for the benefit of the country Poland.
Yes, absolutely. And now we have a Chopin competition. Chopin competition. 19th Chopin competition just ended in Poland, and during the competition.
And for our viewers that do not know, Chopin is actually Polish.
Yes, of course.
What's his whole name?
Frédéric Chopin.
Okay.
And now American won the Chopin competition. Actually, two Americans were in the finals this year. And Mr. Olson, Gary Olson, was presiding over the judges this year. So we are very well connected. I would say Poland and America. We both, I think, admire our countries. And yes.
When you mentioned that the works are commissioned back and forth. Polish commissioned the world artists, and then world orchestras commissioned the Polish composers.
Yes.
And then when they commission, is it like a theme of the program that they want to, or some celebration, and then they commission to compose the music for that certain celebration.
Right. Well, like for example, Chicago Symphony Orchestra commissioned music by Penderecki and by Panufnik, and Panufnik had a special. He's supposed to he wrote the music to celebrate 100th anniversary of the Chicago Symphony Orchestra.
Oh.
So that is a big event.
Mm-hmm.
So that's and his music is very, very popular right now in Poland, but for a long time it was forbidden to perform in Poland.
Why?
And because he did not write according to the Communist Party directions or Stalin directions. When Stalin finally passed away, our music became more free, I would say.
So in other words, when Stalin was in charge, he tried to do away with the folk music element of
No,
Poland?
actually, no. He was probably even imposing the folk music, right?
Oh.
And we started, and we wanted to write more, I would say, more abstract music, because during the communism, usually they do want to promote folk music as the national music.
Oh.
But Chopin also used the mazurkas, the different Polish dances to write in the style to Polish music. So we definitely know that Chopin was Polish, but he also wrote boleros and in different style. He wrote the nocturnes that was
Boleros, that's kind of like Latin, right?
yes, it's Latin. It's Spanish boleros,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So he was trying in different genres too. He wrote two piano concertos, sonatas, and studies, and like all composers, we are all trying to write in the different genres. But living abroad, we are also influenced by composers that are surrounding us. Like I write some blueses here. Blues is very famous in Chicago.
So some of your compositions are blues.
Yes.
Oh my
yes,
goodness.
Yes.
Classical and blues.
Classical and blues, yes.
Wow.
I have wrote some blues for piano and for stringed orchestra.
Were they commissioned works, or did you just have the inspiration to do it?
It was actually one of the pieces was commissioned, but I usually inspired when teaching students.
Mm-hmm.
I have to show them how to write different music, and blues is very simple to write. You only have 12 measures with a very specific harmonic progression, and so it's easy to teach. And usually students like to write. At the beginning they have to write something simple.
I do want to get back to the folk music and Stalin a little
Okay.
bit, because it's curious that he would want that folk music. Then how does music tie in with the communist or the Soviet ideal, and how is that separate from the music that the Polish people wanted to write?
I have some notes from history of composers, and so let me read it here. So in Poland, in 1945, so it's after
The end of the war.
End of the war. President Adam Wieniawski, who was the brother of the very famous Henryk Wieniawski, presented a report on the activities of the Association of the Polish Composers at a Congress of Polish Composers in Krakow. And contrary to the community's hopes for the continuation of their activities, the association was dissolved, and the communist authorities established a new Polish Composers Union in 1948. Musicologists joined the composers to their task as expected by the communists, and their part was to ensure that composers are writing the music according to the rules of socialist realism in their work. However, the Polish Composers Union largely resisted the authorities' pressure, and after the Stalin's era, it operated autonomously and often, they run from Poland, like Panufnik. He ran to England, and a lot of composers started to emigrate to different countries, so they are not forced to write the music in that style.
So socialist realism is a kind of, is it militaristic, even though it's folk?
No, it's not folk. Folk is just one part. I mean, who knows what it is, what Stalin was thinking.
Okay.
It's very difficult to see. Like Shostakovich was under pressure to write something to be, his symphony is supposed to be patriotic. I mean, he was sent to write Leningrad symphony in Leningrad, which was at that time was completely destroyed, and it was the war, and then he had to write the music over there. And he wrote a magnificent symphony out of the fear that Stalin will either like it or not like it, because if Stalin will not like it, he may even prosecute and kill the composer.
Yes. And that's been known to happen.
Yes, that would happen. Right. So it is very touchy subject.
It is.
And it's not just writing the music, but also, for example, we were forbidden copying our music. We were forbidden to arrange like Christmas carols or religious music. And it was, their atheist country and atheist ideology. And it was very difficult.
What about now? So you have the Polish Composers Union. So all that body of work that under the Stalin period. So does the union keep it? Does it ever use it? Is it like they don't want to deal with it anymore, or do sometimes it's still brought up and then played somehow?
Yes, it's still performed because, like I would say, especially in Poland, composers were writing a lot of patriotic music, using folk music is very popular. So arrangements of folk music, even and using the folk themes in operas or musicals. Is popular, but we are trying not to follow the regime or realism, socialistic realism in our music.
I would have to, like, in the future, listen to what socialist realism sounds like compared to other Polish
well, you have to listen to, especially to Shostakovich, because his music is very militaristic, some symphonies, and it's about how communists are very proud of their ideology and destroying destroying aristocracy, basically. Well, we live in a completely world right now. We don't need to worry about this, but maybe we are doing on the other edge. We are still not happy, probably. It's very difficult theme, but the best composers are just writing their own style, and they are recognized, and they don't worry about the politics. They can write maybe on a special occasion, the commissions. Like I wrote the music for 100th anniversary of Poland being resurrected. I wrote a Polonaise, and the Polonaise was performed nearby here in St. Adalbert Church. Which is like a few blocks from here. And that we tried to save the church, but unfortunately we could not, because a lot churches are closing in Chicago.
The Polish Composers Union, that was about 100 years ago. So
yes.
This year is celebrating that. And then you're involved with that deeply.
Yes.
And then there's also the Chicago Chopin Society. And how are these two different?
Well, I created Chicago Chopin Society.
The founder is right here.
Yes, and I am the founder of the Chicago Chopin Society in order to promote Polish music and, of course, my compositions. thing in Chicago is very, I would say, weird because we do not have any composers society in Chicago. So when I came to Chicago and was trying we composers in Chicago, we tried to form our union. It was called Composers Forum, which was actually created in Minneapolis. And we were a chapter at that at that group, and I still belong to Minneapolis composers. But then Chicago group was we survived maybe 3 or 4 years, so we could not find any sponsorship from the city of Chicago, and so everybody created their own group. So we had at one point I calculated it was like 30 different groups promoting the contemporary music, but it was not unity. It was very difficult. We had to fight for our sponsors and venues to perform our music.
Well, you did a very good job of getting more different musicians to play Polish music, orchestral music, classical music, and you also happen to have a very talented pianist from Singapore, May Phang, who plays your composition.
Yes, we have met May Phang in Milwaukee. Chopin competition, and
She won?
Chopin. No, we were judges.
Oh,
We were judging
okay.
students from all United States during the Polish festival in Milwaukee. The Polish festival in Milwaukee, it's still happening every year. Like in major cities, we have these festivals. In Chicago, we had this festival at the beginning of September during the Labor Day. In Milwaukee, the festival was always in June, and we created with Monika Lilia Sobierajski. They created the Chopin competition, and they invited us, me and May Phang, from the very beginning. We were serving over there as a judges for 20 years, and so we created quite a relationship.
Well, we also have a treat for our audience. We have a video of May Phang playing your composition, Jaroslav. What was
Yes.
it? What's the composition?
The composition is Sonata alla Scarlatti.
Let's run it. Well, that's beautiful. And May Phang is working with you as well now.
Yes, and the project is to record all my book, and I have 4 pianists and music for hours. I wrote music for every single hour of the day and night.
Oh my goodness!
And
So evidently, the hour is it inspires you. A certain hour inspires you in a different way.
Yes, and city. And our first concert is in pianoforte, and actually all the concerts are going to be in pianoforte. So you are welcome to check the pianoforte website, Pianoforte Chicago, which is on Michigan Avenue.
Could you spell the website for us, please?
Pianoforte, Pianoforte, and it's located on 1335 South Michigan Avenue. And also, you will hear May Phang is starting our series, and then you will hear Mark Drewnovsky, you will hear Sławomir Dobrzański, and I hope one pianist is going to be from Chicago. I'm not going to tell you the name right now.
So all the information
you have
will
to
be on
come
the
to the
Facebook page.
concert.
Yeah.
Yes, and also we have a Facebook page, Frédéric Chopin.
Spell it.
Oh, that's going to be difficult because it's.
That's okay.
Yes.
Don't worry about it. We'll find it. As long as it's Chopin, they could search.
Right.
Okay.
Chopin is easy to find. Right.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Jaroslaw Golembiowski, for joining us on Community Unity Now, the D Tycoon Show. From Bill Morton and me, Trudy Leong, Administrator of the Rogers Parker Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again next week.
Thank you, Judy, for inviting me.
Thank you, Jaroslaw.